So I can just leave the knife right there. Alrighty, so to get going, it's going to go into titanium white. And we're just going to start putting in a little bit of color. We're just going to start like at a bright spot and work out around it. So we'll have this be the brightest area. So once you pick where your brightest spot is going to be, just start slowly blending outward. And as you work out, it'll start getting darker and darker. So it'll keep mixing with the blue and black color that we put on as like the base coat. It's constantly mixing with the black and blue. Alright, so now I'm going to wash the brush. Nice dry brush. Now we're just going to go back into the middle and start blending everything. And the same thing, just keep slowly working your way outward. Slowly blending outward. Wash the brush again. And dry it off so you have a nice dry brush. The overpowered Alucard. What's up, Pepe the Frog? Alright, so I want this to be just a little bit lighter, so I'm going to go back into white. And then just do the same thing that we just did. Just grab a little bit of the white, go right here to your bright spot. And then just slowly start going outward. And when you're doing paintings, it's usually a good idea not to have your bright spot right in the middle. Try to set it off to the side a little bit. You want it to stay really dark out here on the edges. You just barely want to see a little bit of blue over there. Alright, so now we wash the brush again. And you can do this step a bunch of times. You can keep going in and putting in more and more titanium white if you want it brighter and brighter and brighter. Alright, so now we're going to blend this again. So starting in the middle, working your way outward. Alright, and then just go across it really, really light. This is just to take out all the brush strokes. Alright, so now that we have that, we're going to go back into this dark color that we were using. Like this. Grab some blue, grab some black. It's a nice dark color. It's really all you're trying to get. There we go. So we have a little pile of paint. Alright, so now we'll put some little clouds in here. So go into that dark color. You can use whatever fan brush you want. You could use like a big brush too. So for these clouds, I'm going to do like little wispy type clouds. Building a moon? No, it's not a moon. Well, actually, no, speaking of a moon, let's put a moon in. We can do that real quick and easy. We'll do it with our fancy dancy finger. Just grab a little bit of white on your finger. And just go like right up here. Just put a little moon on there. Get a little more white. There you go. Then you can just take your big brush and very, very lightly, if you're barely even touching the canvas, just kind of blend it all together. There you go. There's our little moon. It's our happy little moon. Alright, so now we're going to put some little clouds in here, and we're just going to do like little rocking strokes to make these kind of like little wispy looking clouds. You can just put these wherever you want, really. There's no right or wrong way of doing these. It's kind of wherever you think they should go. Some little floaters, some little doers out here. Get something like that. A couple out here. Just sort of little streaky clouds. A couple right there. Some right here. Here. There's a big cloud up here. Let's go over here. And just pull a little bit out like this. And so there's a couple tiny little clouds out here. But you're just doing little rocking strokes. It's like little U's or whatever. Alright, so now that we have those put in, we're going to put some little highlights on those so you can see them better. Alright, so with that dark color, we're going to grab a bunch of white and a little bit of that dark. Just a little bit of it though. Still want this to be mainly white. Just want a teeny tiny hint of blue in there. Alright, so since you have a moon, anything below the moon, you're going to put the highlights on the top side of it. Anything above the moon, you're going to put the highlights on the bottom sides of it. So we'll just start down here at this one. So just real gentle. Just skim across the tops. Grab some more color. And the further it gets away, try to put less pressure on it, because these would be darker than the ones like right next to it. So now that we're above the moon, the highlights go on the bottom sides of the dark. But you have to make sure to keep some of that dark color. You need dark to show light. So then we'll go right here. This is still doing the little rocking strokes. Basically just titanium white, a little bit of phthalo blue in it. Okay, now that we have some of our blue in there, we're going to go over this with the big brush. You're just going to blend this real soft. You got to make sure that the brush is perfectly dry though. If there's even a little bit of paint thinner on here, it's just going to turn everything into a big glob of one color. And it'll look very bad. So when you're going over this, just real gentle. You're just barely even touching the canvas. You're just trying to diffuse the paint. You're not even trying to put like any kind of like real noticeable stuff on here. You're just very gently blending them. You're just going to blend this to whatever degree you want this to. Alright, here we go. It's our little night sky. We have some nice little clouds in there. Why did you time out Peter? Okay, so now what we'll do So we'll go into some of the dark color that we made up. And get rid of this little thing of white. Alright, go back into that dark color. That's just black, some blue, nice dark color. There we go. Now we're going to use the big brush for this one. This is a 1-inch round brush. This is a really nice brush. I like this one a lot. This is really good for doing like tree shapes and stuff. So you just tap it. Pretty much you're just going to tap the top part into the paint. That's where you really want to load up all the paint. Alright, so now we're going to go down here and put in some little bushy shapes or little tree shapes that are just far off in the distance. Grab some more color. Put some little bushes in over here. Alright. Now we'll go over here. But while you're doing this, turn your brush. Don't just keep it in the same position the whole time. You want to have different shapes coming out of this. You don't want all the bushes to look exactly the same. Alright, so there's our little rough little shapes back there. So now we gotta wash this brush. Nice and dry. Alright, so now we're going to go into white. We're going to start putting highlights on all those little bushes that we just put in there. Clean off my knife. There we go. I'm just going to pick up all that color that has a little bit of blue in it. Go. So you have like a nice light blue now. So we're just going to tap into that. Give it a little taparoo. Go. You got pretty much just the top part loaded up. So now you're just going to go back in here and start adding highlights on. You're just going to touch and start forming your little bush tops. But you see how the brush makes like these nice little bush shapes just without hardly any effort? This is a really, really good brush. basically all you do is you just touch the brush and it'll do it for you. Oh, there's a big bristle hanging out. But pay attention to like where the light would be hitting. Leave some of it like dark behind it. You know, you don't want to cover up all your dark. You need to have some dark in there. Over here. Grab this little bush. There it is. Some nice little bushes. And since you're getting further away from the light source, you can start adding a little bit more blue to the color just to dull it down a bit. But you want it nice and dark toward the edges. Alright, so that's our little horizon line or whatever of trees. Now, we're going to start putting in the land area now. And this is going to be a winter one, so I'm going to use white for the snow. It's just titanium white. I think I'm going to grab just a tiny bit of liquid white just to make it move over the paint a little bit easier. But not a lot. I'm just going to grab just a tiny bit with the knife. Just so I can mix it in a little bit. My titanium white's pretty old, so it's pretty dried out. I need a lot more titanium white. Alright, so let's grab this. There we go. There, now we have a lot of titanium white. Pull the brush through it and wiggle the bristles. That brings all the paint down to the tips of the bristles, and pull it out so it's nice and sharp. Alright, so now you just want to figure out where you want your land to be. I think, God, this white is super thick. Right. So we'll put some, let's go right here. Alright, that's our first little layer. I'm going to go back into the big brush. This brush holds a lot of paint thinner, so you really gotta make sure you get it all out. Otherwise, it's gonna mess up your painting. Alright, I'm gonna grab some more Midnight Black. Put the cap back on. Grab... Where'd my phthalo blue go? Is this it? Nope. Alright, where is phthalo blue? It's hiding underneath the yellow. I'm gonna grab just a little bit more blue. Alright. Clean off the knife. We can mix this stuff all together. Alright. So now we'll go into this color. Just tap into it. Alright, then we're going to put some more bushes coming up. I guess these would be more like trees than bushes. You know, put some form to them. Even like little rounded tops and stuff like that. Put some down here too. That's pretty good. Let's make another one about right here. So now we have some little bushes and stuff right there that we gotta put highlights onto. So for that, I think I'm gonna use a different color than just like the little white and blue. So I'm gonna grab a little bit of crimson. Mix this into it. I wanna try to get it so it's gonna be like a really super pale purple. Just a little bit more blue in there. It's a little bit too red still. Yeah, that's better. That's better. That's what we wanted. big red streak in there. Alright. Now we gotta clean this brush again. So if nothing else, this painting will make you very, 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 very comfortable with washing your brushes. It's basically after every step you have to wash your brush. And when you're beating it against like a little metal pole or whatever, you can see the actual thinner coming out, so you know when it's dry. It takes like a lot of the guesswork out of it for you, so that's kind of nice. When I say titanium white, you think of gray? Well, it's just regular old white. What's up, Osan? Oh yeah, I forgot. Alright, so let's go into this light color that we just made. It's like purplish color. We're just going to do the same thing. We're just going to touch and start forming little clumps of leaves and stuff. Make sure you leave some little dark spots. You need the dark to show the light. And when you get toward the bottom, let's go real gentle. Alright, let's go up here. This one next. Just make little clumps of leaves and stuff. Just pay attention to which way the light's coming from. We gotta get these little guys down here. What's real nice about these dark canvases is this color shows up so easily. I really like doing these black canvases. These are pretty cool. Alright, so we gotta start over here now. Just go in and pick out little individual bushes. Alright, so now we have our mid-ground done. So the next thing we gotta do is keep putting our snow in here. So go back into the white. Let's start right here. Pull some of this over. I'm going to keep it pretty dark on the edges out here. Follow the angles too. That'll help form the lay of the land. Alright, now before we fill up that stuff down there, instead of cleaning that brush again, I think I'm just going to grab a 1-inch brush. Alright, go into some of the color. And we'll just start putting in some little rough bush shapes down here. But you want to have a decent amount of paint for this part. Put some little bushy deals right there. Just kind of drop them in wherever you think they would go. Alright, so now that that's put on, grab just a little bit of the liquid white just in case. Just in case. I'm just going to put some little highlights here and there. Wherever you want them, just pop them on in. Actually, we don't even really need the big brush. You can use a smaller brush now just to finish putting on the white. So grab some white. Just kind of scrub it on first, and then go up into all the little bushes you did, and just pull out some of the little bottoms. A little bit of the liquid white. But it's okay if you get some of that dark color. The dark color will actually kind of add shadows and stuff for you. So you don't really need to go in there and kill yourself with a little itty bitty brush. Just let this thing do it. And if there's ever something like in your painting you don't like, you can just cover it up, you know? Like if you didn't want any stuff over here, just take some more white and go over it and just blend it all through. Alright, let's put a little pine tree. We'll do a little pine. I'm just going to grab all this dark color that we were using. Might as well throw some of this crimson in there too. Why not? Let's wash the little fan brush. Try it on paper towel and then on your pants. Is that a Family Guy reference, Tom? Pretty sure. Don't need no salad. Everybody needs salad. What you talking about? Alright, so I'm gonna put just like a little pine, like right here. It's gonna just be like a little baby one. So when you're doing a fan brush, wiggle it like that a couple times, and that'll pull the paint down to the bristle tips. And then pull through it on both sides. That'll bring everything to a nice sharp point. Alright, so we'll have this little tree start right there. So just with the corner of the brush, pushing upward and going left to right, you're going to just start adding more pressure the further you get down. And the bristles will bend upward, so it makes it look kind of like a spruce. If you have the bristles pointing the other way, it'd just be like a regular pine. Alright, so now I'm just going to put a small amount of highlight on this one. You don't want a lot of highlight on it because it's going to be the side that we're seeing on that tree isn't the side that's being hit by light. So this would just be like some little reflected light on the back of it. And if you tell anybody, I will cut you. Alright, so go into some blue and some white. A little bit more blue in here. Just want it to be a little bit darker. There we go, that's a good blue. So it's real light, just not a whole lot on this one. Very, very, very small amount of highlight on it. That's good. And we can go underneath this. some of the white out from under it. And there you go, we have a finished painting. GG, everybody. So now we got to do the most important part. Grab your script liner brush, and go into your alizarin crimson, or whatever color you want to sign with. I just happen to have alizarin crimson out, so we'll use that. DL. So there you go, a nice little nighttime in the winter painting.